In the Star Wars prequels, we witness the romance between Jedi Knight Anakin Skywalker and Padme Amidala, the Queen of Naboo. Anakin's intense fear of losing Padme drives him to betray the Jedi Order and embrace the dark side in a desperate attempt to keep her in his life. Unfortunately, spoiler alert, his deepest fear becomes reality, leading to profound emotional suffering. Though Anakin's fear is extreme, it reflects a common human concern. People often go to great lengths to keep their loved ones close. However, Stoic philosophy advises against strong attachments to things beyond our control, including people. Epictetus, for instance, criticizes the wish for eternal life for loved ones as futile since it attempts to control the uncontrollable and hope for the impossible. Despite this, many people experience significant distress after losing loved ones, and the mere possibility of such loss can cause anxiety. The Stoics believed that the anguish of loss and grief stems from irrational thinking. This video explores Stoic philosophy's approach to attachment, dealing with the loss of loved ones, and coping with separation from those we care about. Our attachments to people. Strong emotional bonds with others are often celebrated and seen as a natural part of life. Biologically, we are wired to connect with others, but the intensity of these attachments can vary from simple fondness to unhealthy obsession. When we are deeply attached to someone, we desire their constant presence and fear their departure. This can create emotional problems, especially if our happiness relies on things beyond our control, such as another person. Anakin Skywalker's story illustrates how attachment can lead to destructive decisions, as he turns to the dark side to keep Padme with him. According to Stoicism, such behavior reveals a lack of freedom. True freedom comes from acting based on reason rather than being driven by external circumstances, attachments, and uncontrolled emotions like fear and jealousy. In Stoic thought, our pursuit to keep others in our lives is often driven by selfish desires rather than the common good. This can lead to decisions that are not wise or rational. Epictetus observed that when something impedes our interests, we tend to react with anger and blame, much like Anakin's destructive actions to fulfill his own desires. Epictetus noted, "For its nature is to love nothing so much as its own interest, this to it is father and brother and kinsman and country and God." He further explained that people will go to great lengths, even against the divine, to secure their interests, as seen in historical examples of extreme reactions to personal loss. People aren't yours. When a loved one dies, a partner leaves, or a child cuts ties, it may feel like something has been taken from us. Stoicism, however, suggests that we should view such events differently. We don't lose people, we simply return them, as they were never truly ours. Epictetus advised, "Never say of anything, 'I have lost it,' but 'I have returned it.'" According to Stoicism, external things, including people, are not truly ours because we cannot control them or guarantee their permanence. This perspective helps in understanding that our feelings of loss are not due to losing ownership, but rather returning what was never ours to keep permanently. Emotional assent. Romantic love is often described as passionate, engaging us in intense emotional experiences. Modern society often views passionate love as highly desirable, but the Stoics considered such passions problematic. They identified four main passions: pleasure, appetite, distress, and fear, all of which arise from irrational judgments about our attachments. Anakin's inability to be rational about his feelings highlights the Stoic view that passions stem from faulty thinking. The Stoics sought to overcome these passions through reason. Epictetus suggested, "This is what you ought to practice from morning till evening." He advised starting with minor things and progressively moving to more significant attachments, purifying judgments to avoid emotional pain when things are lost. Seneca's letter. Is it appropriate for a Stoic to remain emotionless in the face of loss? Stoicism aims to free individuals from destructive passions, but this process is difficult and requires significant practice. Even ancient Stoic sages like Epictetus and Seneca were not perfect, though they strived for it. Seneca's letter to his mother Helvia, while in exile, provides a practical approach to grief. He advised her to limit her mourning, suggesting that while grief is natural, it should not be endless. Seneca said, "They did not forbid them to mourn, but they set limits to their grief." Seneca recommended a balanced approach: feel regret but restrain it, and use philosophy to manage emotional well-being. This middle path, rather than complete dispassion, acknowledges the challenge of coping with loss while striving for emotional balance. Thank you for watching.